Hey guys, and welcome to this video on the potential sequel for the Dungeons and Dragons movie. Before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, stay up to date with all the movie news we have going on around here, guys. So, Paramount boss says cheaper Dungeons and Dragons sequel could happen. While it didn't set the box office on fire, Paramount isn't ruling out a cheaper Dungeons and Dragons sequel. So yeah, guys, I went and watched this film. I thought it was really kind of delightful. I thought to myself that it probably was going to be like a clone of Lord of the Rings and just kind of a rip-off Lord of the Rings fantasy and but it was actually really surprisingly good. It was, full of heart, full of humor. The action was quite good, and I really enjoyed the characters as well. So, and this is coming from someone I've never played Dungeons and Dragons in my life. I had no idea about, the Dungeons and Dragons game. So coming in as a newbie, I still really, really enjoyed it. And, I'd love to see a sequel and I'd love to see them expand on the universe. So let's jump into this article here, guys. So while it didn't set the box office on fire when it came out this spring, Paramount hasn't totally given up on the Dungeons & Dragons sequel. Dungeons & Dragons: Honor Among Thieves fell short of $100 million at the North American box office, only grossing $93 million, with an additional $115 million overseas, putting its total at $200 million internationally. Still did better than Shazam 2. So, that's something I would say. While those are mediocre numbers, Paramount studio boss Brian Robbins told THR, while it'll lose money, they could still do a sequel. We've got to figure out a way to make it for less, says Robbins in an expansive interview that touches on some of the hurdles that the studios face setting up tentpole movies in the post-COVID era. That's the thing, guys. I've seen a lot of people in the YouTube space, comment on, like Hollywood, they make these massive blockbuster action tentpole movies, but they make them for 150 million, 200 million, and it's way too much to spend on these kind of movies, especially when it's the first one out of the gate as well. You got to think like Dungeons and Dragons. I don't think a lot of people are that familiar now with Dungeons and Dragons, like the mainstream audience. So, you need to make it for a lower budget. You need to get people on board. You need to get people, who see the first one for a lower budget, who enjoy the movie. And then as each, sequential movie comes out, each sequel, up the budget for each movie that comes out. If it's doing better and better, make the budget better and better as well. Don't just come out of the gate and spend like 200 million on the first movie, because, I don't think it's a good way to go. But I digress on that anyway. So, in the post-COVID era, while Top Gun Maverick was a mega hit, Babylon was a colossal flop. This summer's Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 has been overshadowed by dual Barbenheimer threat, although it could still leg out to respectable North American gross and seems sure to make bank overseas. So, let's get rid of this advert. In the piece, Robbins, who started as an actor on TV's Head of the Class before directing movies like Good Burger and Varsity Blues prior to his mogul days, doesn't address Mission Impossible's box office run, but he does admit Transformers Rise of the Beast, 424 million worldwide gross. It's not great, but good. Although one imagines a studio like Warner Brothers would kill to have the Flash gross as much. Oh god, let's not even go into the Flash. That's going to go down in history as the biggest superhero flop. I think it was that was just horrendous. Robbins and company seem keen to bring the G.I. Joe into the Transformers big screen universe, as teased in the film. So that franchise seems likely to go on, but Dungeons & Dragons, despite its critical and audience acclaim, seems like a long shot to continue, given that the movie carried a reported 150 million budget. Yeah, this is what I was just saying, guys. Like, it's the first movie out of the gate. You don't know if people are going to be on board with it. Why spend 150 million on the first movie? It's crazy. And then you get companies like Blumhouse who bring out their horror movies. They spend 15, 20 million, even 30 million on a movie. And they make like 5 to 10 times their budget back. You could make a Dungeons and Dragons movie a lot cheaper than 150 million, surely. But yeah, it just kind of baffles me as to why they spend this much on the first movie. You could spend 80 million, 75, 80 million on the first movie if it does good. When the sequel comes out, up the budget. But yeah, it kind of baffles me a bit, guys. I'm not sure what you guys think about that. So perhaps it is a property that will find new life on the small screen, with the studio recently greenlighting a series for Paramount Plus. Do you think Dungeons & Dragons deserves a sequel? So guys, let's go have a look and see what people have commented on this, because there's a few comments on this article here. So let's see what people are saying. It deserves let's get rid of that. It deserves a sequel. It was a great surprise how much I enjoyed it. Completely agree with that. They could shave. They could say what? They could shave having so many effects pieces. I wasn't sure where that conversation was going. They could shave having so many effects pieces and change up some casts for cheaper actors and new missions depending on the adventure. And like they remade the Jumanji movies, have a group of kids playing D&D in their basement, and they get sucked into the adventure as the main characters they play. Yeah, I completely agree. Like that worked for the Jumanji formula. You know, where you had kids playing a video game and then they got sucked into the Jumanji world, and then they were playing as avatars within that Jumanji world. And I think that's a great idea. You could kind of do that with D&D as well. You know, you're playing the board game, something happens, you get sucked into it, and you become your avatar that's on the actual board in front of you. So that's kind of a cool idea. Saving money there by showing us a group friendship before the universe and adventure takes place, like Stranger Things. So definitely, yes, a sequel should be made. It was one of the best movies of the year. Why didn't it make more money at the box office? It's beyond me. I think that this is to do with what I said before, guys. I think it's because the main cinema going audience, I don't think there's not a lot of people that I know, casual moviegoers, who play Dungeons and Dragons or know a lot about it. And I think that may have turned people off a little bit. The fact that they don't really know a lot about Dungeons and Dragons, they might feel lost going into it. Whether that was a major factor or not, but I mean, Barbie, come on, no contest. D&D was far, but don't even get me started on the Barbie movie. I don't even want to talk about it. Suffice to say that, yeah, no, I don't think it was good. But anyway, it was one of the best surprises of the year. I would like to see another one. Absolutely agree with that, Bill Gabe. I think you could expand on this lore. I mean, the comedy is great, and the action was great. The characters are really cool. I'd love to see them introduce, you know, like each sequel they could introduce, kind of like the Fast and Furious franchise. Like each sequel they could introduce like a new character here and there. Before you know it, we've got a big roster of characters, and yeah, I think they could do a really good job with that. The moment I read cheaper in the title, I didn't care anymore. Yeah, well, that's kind of the thing, guys. Like, you got to remember at the end of the day, you know, Hollywood is Hollywood. They don't have an infinite budget. A lot of people think that they do, but at the end of the day, it's a business. They need to make money. They have to get their finances from somewhere. So, The Legend of Vox Machina is going strong and just as good, if not better. The show is fantastic. Not sure what that's about. The movie was way better than I figured it would be. Completely agree with that, Ralphus there. Yeah, like I said, I thought it was just going to be a cheap knockoff Lord of the Rings clone, but no, it was actually really good. I think it stood on its own feet. It had its own identity. It wasn't just a generic kind of fantasy movie. I thought it was really fun. Live action meets animation group, where a group is playing D&D, and the adventure they're on is animated. Pretty much what Dan Harmon has done with Harmon Quest. Dan Harmon has done with Harmon Quest. Sorry, mispronounced that. So yeah, live action meets animated. That would be an interesting adaptation for sure. But yeah, guys, so that's just some of the comments we got here on this article. Jump down to the comment section, guys. I'd love to know what you think about this. Did you see the Dungeons and Dragons movie? Did you like it? Did you not like it? And would you be up for watching a sequel? I definitely would. I thought it was a great movie. I would love to see them expand and try again, and hopefully more of the mainstream audience get on board with Dungeons and Dragons, because it's a really fun movie. The characters are really relatable. You know, they're humorous, good action. So yeah, I'd love to hear what you have to say, guys, and I will see you soon.